Hi, my name is Alex. Welcome to Yoga with Alex here on YouTube. This is day 5 of your 7-day yoga challenge for beginners of yoga. You'll see that I have a couple of blocks right here at the top of my mat. But if you are new to yoga and you don't have any blocks, no problem. I would encourage you then to grab a chair to keep it up near the front of your mat, or you can also make sure that you park your mat right near a wall because that can come in handy. Because for this class, we are going to be focusing on your balance. Some things to know about balance before we begin. One side may feel a lot more comfortable than the other side. I balance a lot better on my left leg compared to my right leg. And who knows, I may fall out of a pose here on my mat while we're even doing this class. But if you find yourself kind of falling out of it, laugh it off, shake it off, get back up, try again. Yoga is not about perfection. It's just about trying and embracing where you are on your journey. Peace. I'm going to go ahead and get started here, coming on down to your mat, and we're going to start in a child's pose. So bringing your knees as wide as your mat, big toes touch, sinking your glutes back towards your heels, beginning to walk your hands forward as you melt your forehead down towards the floor. Settling your energy here before we begin some movement. So noticing your breath. And deepening your breath, relaxing your chest a little bit closer towards the floor. Finding more length into your arms as you spread the fingers wide. And if you haven't deepened your breath, begin to do so. Breathing in slowly, filling up a little bit more. And then exhale even slower. The thing about balance, I like to think about balance in life whenever I'm practicing balancing poses. So in life, when we are feeling balanced, it's because that we are focusing on what we need to focus on in order to live a balanced life. Our mind isn't going here and there and everywhere. Our mind is focused on what is most important in our life, what is most important to us. And when we are sending our energy out to what is most important, we feel balanced. And in the same way as you're doing balancing poses, you're putting your energy and your focus on what is most important for that pose. So in a balancing pose, it's important to have our gaze focused on the same thing at all times instead of looking around everywhere. It's important to just breathe through the pose instead of holding your breath. And it's important to make sure that you're not locking out your knees because you could do damage on your knees. So just kind of thinking about it like that. So when we feel balanced, when we are sending our energy out to what is most important, just like we will find balance on our mat when we are focusing on these 3 things that are crucial to maintain your balance. 3 deep breaths, inhale in, and let go. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. And 1 more, inhale. And exhale. And slowly on your inhale, shifting forward into a tabletop position. Wrist under shoulders, knees under hips. Doing some gentle movement here before we begin to play with the balance. On your inhale to cow, drop your belly, gaze high. And exhale to cat, rounding into your spine, pushing the earth away from you. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. One more time. Inhale, cow. Exhale to cat. Coming back into this neutral spine, tabletop, we're going to take your right leg and extend it out long, almost like you're coming into bird dog, but keeping your hands onto the mat. Now, flex your right foot here. I want you to begin to take your right foot out long to the right side and plant your right foot down onto the floor, pressing that baby toe into the floor as well. Now, from here, maybe you keep your hands onto the floor, hips stacked over the knees, or maybe you begin to melt your glutes back towards your heel, almost like a child's pose, extending your arms forward, melting your forehead down towards the floor. This is a variation of child's pose here, breathing into that right inner thigh. 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. And then slowly begin to shift forward, coming back onto those hands and knees. Your right knee meets the left, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Begin to extend your left leg long, your left foot is flexed, then sending your left foot out to the side, planting the sole of the foot down to the floor. And your left foot is in line with the left hip. Again, maybe you stay here. This may be enough for you right here, stretching this left inner thigh, or beginning to send your glutes back towards that right heel, keeping that left baby toe planted on the floor, beginning to extend your arms long, melting your forehead down towards the floor. You're feeling that stretch here into that left inner thigh and the hip. Breathing here for 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. Now slowly begin to shift forward. You're back onto your tabletop position. Your left knee meets the right. Inhale for cow. Drop your belly. Gaze high. Exhale for cat. 1 more. Inhale to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale for cow. And this time, tucking your toes and exhale, pushing back to a downward facing dog. Now from your downward facing dog, beginning to bend one knee at a time, taking your dog for a walk. Now during this class, before we just jump straight into balancing poses, we want to warm up the core and open up the hips. So doing stretches that open the hips before we just jump into balancing poses, because the 3 balancing poses that we will be doing do require us to have stretched our hips just a little bit. So I encourage you, whenever you're practicing these poses at home, trying to get a little bit better at them, make sure that you do tune in to some of my classes to warm up your hips and core before you just jump into practicing these poses. So find stillness here in your downward facing dog and begin to send your gaze up to the top of your mat and tiptoe your feet forward into a forward fold. Hips are high. Send your gaze between your legs. Grab opposite elbows and ragdoll side to side. Keeping your breath deep and slow. And then find your stillness, releasing your hands towards the floor. Inhale to a halfway lift, hands to shins. Your gaze is down. Nice straight legs. Relax your shoulders. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly rise. Sweep your arms high. Exhale to cactus your arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades. One more time. Inhale, extend, reach your arms high. Exhale to fold, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, sweep your arms up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, extend. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold. We're going to come into that warrior 2 that you learned a couple of classes ago. Step your left foot back. Cartwheel the arms to a T and gaze to that right middle finger. Checking in with your hips, making sure they're square to the long side of your mat. And your right knee is stacked or behind the right ankle. Send your gaze to that right middle finger. Inhale where you are. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Bring your left hand to left leg. Inhale to warrior two. We're going to do that one more time. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale to warrior two into extended side angle. Bend into the right arm, planting the arm down to right leg. Left arm up and over. Roll that left shoulder back. Breathing here for 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. Inhale, rise to your warrior two. Bringing your hands to your heart. Turn your right foot to the long side of your mat. We're coming into that wide-legged forward fold. Bring your hands behind your hips, behind your back, Interlock your fingers and squeeze the shoulder blades together. You're shining your chest forward. Inhale, lean back. Your toes are pointed in. And exhale, fold forward. Gaze between your legs, stretching these hips, the inner thighs, the lower back. Now your fingers can reach up towards the ceiling, feeling that stretch in your shoulder blades. If it doesn't feel good, you can release your hands to the floor, but just relax your head. Gaze between your legs towards the wall or whatever's behind you. 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. Now releasing your hands, bring them to the hips. Inhale, slowly rise here. And we're going to play facing the back of the mat. I want you to take your left foot and turn the left toes to the back of your mat. And now look at your feet. You're in warrior two feet once again. The left heel is in line with the arch of that right foot. Inhale, bring your arms out to that letter T, shoulders relaxed. Exhale, bend into that left knee. Here you are in a warrior two. Send your gaze to that left middle finger. Engage your core, hips are square to the long side of your mat. 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. Now inhale here. And exhale, reverse your warrior, right hand to right leg. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, reverse. 1 more time. Inhale, warrior two. And exhale, extended side angle. Bend the left elbow, right arm up and over. Roll that right shoulder back. Breathing here. 2 more deep breaths. 1 more. Now inhale, warrior two. Gaze to that left middle finger. Bring your hands to your heart. Wide-legged fold. 1 more time. Turn the toes inward. Interlock the fingers. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, fold forward. Squeezing the shoulder blades together if your fingers are interlocked. 2 more deep breaths. 1 more. And exhale, releasing your hands. And slowly on an inhale, rise here. Turning the right toes to face the top of the mat. 1 more time, a warrior two, arms to a T. Inhale here. Exhale, bend into that right knee. Inhale. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale to warrior two. Now we're going to play with a triangle pose. Begin to straighten out your right leg. You're not locking out the knee. Now from here, I want you to imagine this right hand is reaching forward as you push the hips towards the back of the mat. Keep leaning, 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 reaching, reaching. And then begin to bring your right hand down on top of that right leg. And your left hand reaches up to the ceiling. Now imagine you're trying to get your right arm and your left arm in a nice straight line. Spread those fingers wide and don't dump the weight onto your right leg. You're using your core here to hold yourself up. 2 more deep breaths. One more. Whew. And inhale to rise. Bend into the right knee, warrior two. Bring your hands to your heart, wide-legged fold. Once again, interlock the fingers. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, fold forward. 2 more deep breaths. 1 more. Releasing your hands to your hips. Inhale to rise. 1 more time, warrior two, other side. Turn the left toes to the back of the mat. Bring your arms to a T. Inhale here. Exhale, bend into the left knee, checking in with the hips square alongside of the mat. Now inhale where you are. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale to warrior two, into triangle. Straighten the left leg. Reach your left hand forward, forward, forward as you push the hips back. Bringing the back of your left hand onto the left leg. Right hand reaches high to the sky. Play around. See if you can send your gaze to that right hand. Breathing here for 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. Inhale to rise, arms to a T, bend into the left knee. Hands to your heart, turn your toes alongside of the mat. Ooh, got a little wobbly here. Interlock the fingers, your last wide-legged fold. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, fold forward. 2 more deep breaths. 1 more. Now releasing your hands towards the floor. We're going to begin to walk our hands to that right foot. Turn all of your toes to face the top of your mat and step your left foot to meet the right. You're in a forward fold here. Bend one knee at a time. We're going to have some fun with our balancing poses. We're going to do 2 balancing poses in this class. One of them is called tree pose. The other one is called a warrior three. So you have heard in this series, if you've been following along, warrior one and warrior two, but we're going to learn warrior three today. So find stillness in your forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, you fold. Inhale to rise, sweep your arms up high, and exhale your hands to your heart as I turn to face you here. We are going to start with tree pose, Vriksasana. There are many variations of a tree pose, and I want you to listen to your body today and honor that, but I also want you to listen to both sides of your body. One side of my body likes tree pose better than the other, so you are probably going to see me have my feet on different parts of my leg, depending on what side of the body I'm doing tree pose on. So I'm going to show you tree pose first, and then we are going to come into tree pose together. I want you to have a wall near you if you are not feeling super confident with your balance today, just so you can have a hand there in the event that you need it. But listen to your body and put your foot down onto the floor at any point that you feel like you need to take a break. It's okay to take breaks. So here's what tree pose is going to look like. We're going to start into a mountain pose, bringing your arms by your side, standing nice and tall, shoulders relaxed. And then we're going to find a focal point. In yoga, we call that your drishti, a focal point. And that's the thing you're going to look at the entire time. You're not going to be looking around, taking your selfies, like, oh, look at me, I'm in tree pose. No, we're going to be looking at one part of our room the entire time, the same thing the entire time. So then from there, you're going to begin to bend a micro bend into that standing leg. And then we're going to start with the right leg, taking the right foot either onto the ankle, where the big toe will have a kickstand and we'll open the knee out to the side. We can lift the toe off the floor, sole of the foot onto the ankle, guiding the foot up to the shin, Or you can bypass the knee because you don't want to press the foot and knee together because you can hurt the knee over time. Maybe you bypass the knee and bring the right foot to the inside of the left inner thigh. And then from here, you'll open the knee out to the side. Your hands can be at your heart, on your hips, or overhead. So we're going to practice this tree pose again together, unless you've already gotten into it. So from here, I'm going to talk you into it. Stand nice and tall into your mountain pose. And I'm going to turn to this side here. So I'm going to have a wall here just in case I need it for my left hand. So standing into your mountain pose, I want you to look forward. Find your drishti, your gaze. What do you want to look at the entire time? Spread your fingers nice and wide, stand tall, core is engaged, and then bringing your hands to your heart, begin to bend into that left knee, a little micro bend here. As slowly begin to bring the sole of the foot onto the ankle, turning the right knee out to the right. So you're externally rotating that right hip. Now, maybe you play around, maybe you guide your foot up to the shin, or maybe you slowly guide the right foot to the left inner thigh. Don't force it here. Find your edge. There's some days where I have my right foot on the inner thigh, and there's other days where I just prefer to have it on the shin or ankle because I'm just not feeling it. It's not feeling good. Listen to the side of your body, holding it here for 2 more deep breaths. Breathe in. Don't forget to breathe. And 1 more. Now, slowly release the foot and lower it down, standing back into your mountain pose. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm going to turn to the other side. Right, remember yoga, right to left. So we're going to do the left side now. Now from here, you want to stand into that mountain pose, Tadasana, stand tall and proud, arms by your side, fingers spread wide. Then bringing your hands to your heart, your drishti, find your drishti here, your focal point. Stare at it the entire time. Try to avoid looking at me now. And bend into that right knee, just a little micro bend, and bring that left foot to the ankle, turning the left knee out to the left as you externally rotate the hip. Option to stay here or bring the foot up to the shin, which is where I will stay. My left hip is tighter than my right hip. Option to take that left foot, guide it up to the right inner thigh. And if you desire, we didn't do it on the other side, maybe you grow your branches, relaxing your shoulders, extending your arms up and over, fingers spread wide. And it's okay if you feel like your tree is just blowing in the wind. It just means that you're strengthening your legs here. You're strengthening your core. You're getting out of your comfort zone. Breathe here for 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. Very slowly bringing your hands back to your heart center if they were raised, and release that left foot down, back into mountain pose, Vriksasana, tree pose. You did it, yes. So from here, we're going to play around with 1 more balancing pose before we come to our cool down. And this balancing pose that you will hear in many, many, many vinyasa classes is called Virabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. Now, all of the other warrior poses, Warrior 1 and Warrior 2, were just standing postures to help build strength within your body and to help stretch the hips. Warrior 3 is also a strength building pose, but it incorporates balance. And I'm going to show you what Warrior 3 looks like. But I want you to know that this is where, if you need a chair, I'd encourage you to get a chair near you or have blocks available, because Warrior 3 can sometimes really play with our mind and make us think that we are never going to be able to do it. But have props nearby if you start to get a little anxious in this pose. So watch me first, and then we'll talk through it. So warrior three, we're going to start in Tadasana, mountain pose, standing nice and tall. And then we're going to bring our hands to our heart. And we're going to start with the right leg first, just like in tree pose. We're going to bend, micro bend into that left knee. And we're going to begin to hinge forward, lifting that right foot off the mat. And imagining you're trying to make your torso and your leg come into a straight line. You'll notice that my right foot here is flexing. The toes are pointed down towards the mat. And it's almost like I'm trying to kick a hole into the wall. I'm pressing my right heel towards the wall as I am finding length into that right leg. So we're not bending into the right knee. We're keeping that right leg nice and straight, reaching the crown of the head forward. Now, some people have their arms reaching back, forward, out to the side like an airplane. Kids love that. I prefer my hands to heart. But this is the part where you can have the fingertips to the floor or block or to a chair. I couldn't hold that any longer or I would be falling out. So I'm going to talk you through this warrior three pose. Like I said, you have blocks, you need a chair, or if you want to have your hands out to the side with one hand on the wall, like airplane pose, that's perfectly fine. So I am going to have my blocks available just in case. I'm going to turn this way so you can see my right side if you need to look up. But I encourage you to just listen to my words so you're not just constantly looking at me and possibly falling out of the pose, because balance requires full concentration. So I'm going to place these blocks down right in front of me. If you don't have blocks, remember you can place a chair in front of you, standing tall here into your mountain pose, arms by your side, engage your core. And then bringing your hands to your heart, you're going to bend into that left knee, just a little micro bend. And then we're going to slowly begin to hinge forward, straightening out that right leg behind you. Right foot is flexed. Imagine you're trying to kick the wall behind you and continue to hinge till it feels as if you have a straight line with your torso and your right leg. Now your gaze is going to be down to the floor directly under your nose. Soft gaze here. Breathing here. And then slowly come to rise, planting that right foot down to meet the left into mountain pose. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Warrior three. It is a doozy. And just like other poses that we've done during the series where I've told you that warrior three, it is a doozy. And don't worry if you don't feel like you got it right the first time. It's taken me a while to get warrior three to where it feels good in my body. So you're doing it right. You're doing it okay. Stand tall here. Mountain pose. Bringing your hands to your heart. We're bending into that right knee. Little micro bend here. Beginning to hinge forward. Straightening that left leg behind you. Your gaze is down to the floor. Keeping the hips square to the floor. Maybe you play this time, reaching your hands forward, or maybe you reach them behind you. Maybe you do something different. I did that, and now I need to grab onto the blocks and try to bring my hands back to the heart. And again, if you fall out of it, okay, get back into it. 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. Slowly bringing the left foot down to meet the right, forward fold and bend 1 knee at a time. Oof. Some of those poses that you love to hate. I love tree pose, but warrior three pose, oh my goodness. Planting your hands down to the floor, come to sit on down, and you're going to extend those legs long in front of you. Sit up nice and tall here in the staff pose, reaching the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, shoulders relaxed. Inhale, reach your hands high. Exhale, fold, reaching towards the feet. Bringing your chin towards your chest. 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. And then inhale, slowly rising here and coming into that deer pose that you did on day 4, bending into the knees, bringing that right leg parallel to the top of the mat, left leg parallel to the long side of the mat, keeping your feet flexed here. Now inhale, sit tall. Exhale, maybe you fold over the right leg. You can plant your forearms down to the floor or keep your hands melted onto that mat. Chin to the chest, feeling that stretch here into that right hip. Two more deep breaths. And 1 more. Just slowly walk your hands back up. Now this time we're going to straighten out the left leg and you're going to turn to face the long side of your mat, bringing your right foot inside of that left inner thigh. You're going to sit up nice and tall here. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. And then leaning towards that left leg that's extended. Right arm comes up and over for a lovely side stretch. 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. And then inhale, slowly rising here. You're going to straighten out that right leg this time. And we're going to face the back of the mat. Bend into the left knee as we come into deer pose on the other side. Bend into the right knee so that leg is parallel to the long side of the mat. Feet are flexed. Sit up tall here. An option to stay here or begin to fold over that left leg. Your hands can plant. Or maybe you fold a little deeper and your forearms can touch the mat. Stretching this left hip. Two more deep breaths. And 1 more. And come to that side stretch one last time. Slowly rise here and extend your right leg. And then you're going to turn to the long side of your mat, bringing that left foot inside of that right inner thigh. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, reach up high. And exhale to lean to the right. Left arm comes up and over. Breathe into that left side of the body. 2 more deep breaths. And 1 more. And inhale, slowly rise as you bring the soles of your feet to touch here into a butterfly pose. Your hands can grab the ankles or shins, sitting up nice and tall. Relax the shoulders and press your knees down a little bit more towards the floor. Option from here is to hinge forward. The last thing to do is round into the upper back, bringing the chin to your chest as you breathe into your inner thighs. Two more deep breaths. And 1 more. And inhale to slowly rise, bringing your knees to touch as you close the book and extend the legs long. And take your time to gently lower down onto your spine. Full body stretch. Inhale, reach the arms up and over. And exhale, hug your knees into your chest as you come into a happy baby, wrapping the arms around the legs or the fingers grab the big toes. Pull those knees in towards your armpits. Relax your shoulders and just breathe. Remembering that your balance in life is just like your balance in your yoga poses. You keep your focus on what is most important in the moment in your life. Invest your energy into what is most important. Stand strong and steady and just breathe. Through any obstacle that life throws your way, just breathe. 2 more deep breaths. And one more. Inhale. Exhale, release your legs. Extend them long, arms by your side. Snuggle your shoulder blades under. Relaxing here into your mat. Checking in with your breath. Settling here. Shavasana. Beginning to invite movement to your fingers. And wiggle your toes. With your eyes closed, gently nod your head side to side. Shrug your shoulders up toward your ears and reach those arms up and over. Wiggle the fingers, the wrist, and the ankles. And inhale here and exhale, hug the knees in. Give yourself a hug. Thank yourself for showing up for you. And begin to rock side to side. Slowly rolling over to either side, and take your time to gently press up into a comfortable seated position on your mat, sitting tall. I want to thank you so much for joining me for day 5 of your 7-day yoga challenge. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Yoga with Alex and comment below. That is how you help me to grow my channel, by liking and subscribing and sharing with your friends and family on social media. You can also follow me on Instagram at Alex Bogart Yoga, at TikTok at Alex Bogart Yoga, and on Facebook, Yoga with Alex. And if you love these classes and you want to see me in person, make sure to follow me on social media, because I will be doing in-person classes in the Low Country of Charleston, South Carolina. So I hope that I get to meet you in person very soon. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Namaste.